Hey buddy, it is a really nice sunny day in Copenhagen and we are going to go for a walk because we just felt like we had to get outside and enjoy it. And I think you'll find that most people here kind of have the same attitude when the sun is out.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we've really adopted since coming here is that whenever the sun is up, whenever it's a nice day, even if it's still kind of cold, and it's kind of cold today, you get outside. You get the sun when you can because this is a place where the sun doesn't always shine.
Yeah, I think I've heard it called like sun guilt. And it's just kind of the idea that like, yes, there will probably be other sunny days, but you don't necessarily know when they're going to be.
Yep.
So when you do have a nice day like this, you really want to get yourself out and enjoy it. So we're going to walk down to Nyhavn, which is one of the very touristic spots in Copenhagen, but thought it would be a nice place to get out and go for a walk and kind of show off, I guess, that Danish habit that we've adopted of getting outside whenever it's sunny, and talk about some other habits that we've picked up during our time of living here in Denmark and in Copenhagen.
So one of the other habits that we've picked up is we now dress in the classic Danish outfit of mostly black and neutral colors, as you can see right here. I don't know if it's entirely intentional, but it's also based on the kind of clothing that you can find here in Denmark. The flashy colors and stuff like that doesn't tend to be as common. People kind of tend to dress in neutral colors, especially when it comes to outerwear like jackets and pants and things like that.
Yeah, I definitely think that compared to the style I had before I moved to Denmark, I dress a little more plainly, definitely more like blacks and grays and those sort of neutral colors. But I also think now that I've been here for a while, I understand the practicality of it because a lot of it is due to the weather. So not just dressing so that you match the gray skies all year long, but also because you're often biking, you're often outdoors. And if you're biking and it's a little wet or a little bit rainy, then you don't want to wear something that is a bright color, or you're not necessarily going to wear like white pants or something that would look and perhaps get a little bit dirty or show if it was wet from you cycling to work or cycling around the city. So it's just something that is kind of funny, and it is kind of a trope and a joke and a stereotype that people dress in darker colors. However, there's a very practical reason. Yeah. So we've adopted it for kind of both of those reasons, the practicality and the fact that that's kind of the clothing options that you have when you move to Denmark.
So one of the habits we kind of picked up, but not really, is winter bathing. Now, Danes will tell you, or not every Dane, but a lot of Danes will tell you that winter bathing is one of the best ways to stay healthy in the winter time because you get a fresh dip in the incredibly cold sea, and this is invigorating for yourself. Some people really go winter bathing almost every single day, and I gotta say, the water out there, it's 4 degrees Celsius. That's high 30s Fahrenheit for you Americans out there.
Yeah, it's not something that we totally embrace and do every day, but we do now do it at least 1 or 2 times per year. Sometimes we like to do it with a sauna as well. But compared to when we first arrived here, it was something that we really didn't expect we would ever do. I feel pretty happy with how far we've gone, and you know, we're still progressing. We're not moving away from Denmark, so maybe next year we'll go 3 times, and then maybe we'll try it without the sauna experience as well. I don't know, it's something that I definitely, no pun intended, have warmed up to in the time that we've been here. It really is nice. It's very relaxing afterward. And I think that there's a little bit of maybe the key to Danish happiness, because I think if you start your day by being absolutely miserable and jumping into the very cold sea, then the rest of your day is just going to be really nice and you'll be really happy comparatively. Like maybe you're just happy that you're finally warm again.
That's one way to look at it, I guess. In the meantime, I will say sauna is something that we have fully embraced. Yeah. It's nice. A lot of the gymnasiums, or the gyms, sorry, here in Copenhagen have saunas with them. It's a nice way to relax after a workout. And especially in the winter time, there's a lot of saunas they put around the harbor baths, so you can have a nice warm up in the sauna when you go for a dip as well. So it's a way that's the way that we've embraced winter bathing. The people that literally go off the street, jump in the water, towel off, and keep going with their day, they're the ones that I can't quite embrace quite yet.
Yeah,
that's too much.
We'll work up to that. We'll see. But hey, onward. Let's go over and see if we can get a little farther closer to Nyhavn.
One of the other things that's definitely a Danish habit we picked up is almost militant planning. Before we came out on this walk, we actually were putting together a spreadsheet for all of our travels and activities and plans that we have for the spring and the summer, which is something that while both of us are kind of planners naturally, I think not in the same sense that we become like Danes, where I can literally tell you where we're going to be every week from week number 9 through 39, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and even week numbers are something that somehow we adopted. You can even go back and look at some of our older videos where we sort of poked fun at week numbers, and we kind of poked fun at the way that Danes are very much planners and very, you know, kind of in tune to always being on time and always having a plan and things planned out. And then it can be hard to actually make plans with people because of this factor. However, I definitely think it's something that we appreciate now, and slowly but surely over time we adopted it, and I actually kind of like it. I've heard from a lot of Danes, especially in the beginning of our time here, that it actually seems counterintuitive, but it frees up their ability to be more spontaneous by planning good portions of the calendar and of their schedule. And I have to say, I actually finally admit that it's true, and it's done the same for us. And I think that we really like that by having things planned out and laid out, it makes it easier for us to have time in our schedule that's freed up just for being spontaneous or doing nothing, or knowing, hey, this weekend we are staying at home and we have nothing on the books. And that's really nice. Okay, we made it with the last little bit of light of the day to Nyhavn, which is really gorgeous, as you can see behind us. And it's one of the most visited places in Copenhagen. And even though it's very public, it kind of reminds us of another habit that we picked up and something that's changed us a little bit after moving here, which is that we're a bit more private, and we're not as, how do I say it diplomatically? We've kind of toned down that thing that a lot of Americans do, which is kind of being excited and in your face and a little bit more extroverted, and we've definitely tamped that down a little bit. Wouldn't you say?
I would definitely say. I mean, we've definitely, we've totally adapted to not talking to the person next to you in the queue at the grocery store, and you know, public transportation is as quiet as the quiet car is across the whole thing. But no, I think the privacy piece too, it's a little bit of also how you interact with people. Like obviously, as you get to know people and become friends with them, you certainly share a lot more about yourself, a lot more of your details. But for example, at work, I think we don't share as much of those details of ourselves as maybe we were doing back in the U.S. Again, it's kind of matching where kind of the culture is here in that way. And again, nothing is good or bad, it's just a little bit different in how we do that. And we definitely have adapted that over here with maybe a touch more of privacy, which is a lot for two guys that are sharing their lives on a YouTube channel and a podcast and everything else.
Yeah, there's a little bit of irony there, considering we share a lot of our lives on social media and on YouTube, but it definitely is something that we've realized is just not necessarily the way that everybody does things here, and we've definitely picked that up. But again, this isn't to say that everybody's like that all the time, or that it's 100% the way that everybody is here, but I think it is sort of a well-earned reputation that Danes and Scandinavians more broadly are a bit more to themselves, a little bit more subdued, and you know, we've kind of adopted that more chill sort of attitude towards things too, and how we socialize with people. But if you want to learn more about socializing with Danes and some tips on doing that, you can watch this video right here next and learn a bit more of how that's manifested itself in socializing with Danes and the things that we picked up. But thanks for watching this one today, everybody.
Hi.